So this right here is my entire $2,000 keyboard collection.
As many of you guys know, I've made hundreds of different videos using a bunch of different keyboards. I've easily spent more than $2,000 on a bunch of different keyboards, ranging from really good ones to absolutely terrible ones, and I'm going to be showing you all of them in this video. So I'm going to be starting from the left side and then moving all the way down to the right side. As you guys can see, I have a bunch of different keyboards, but for the very first one, I know it's pretty bright because of the light, but for the very first keyboard, we have the Booga Five Below keyboard. I actually bought it off of an eBay reseller for about $25, which was a heavy scam, because this keyboard literally is membrane. It doesn't have actual mechanical switches. It literally is just like an office keyboard, just like this one. It's literally so bad, this keyboard. I mean, it is kind of budget since it says Five Below, but like I said, I did pay a lot of money for it. But then moving down here, this is actually the oldest keyboard I have in the collection. It's a Razer Huntsman Mini. Of course, since I do a bunch of different challenges, I have the keycaps off on it. But as you guys can see, it has purple clicky switches from Razer, and it's super loud, as you guys can hear. I didn't take the spacebar off, but I really do love this keyboard. I think I've had the Razer Huntsman Mini since October of 2020, so definitely a super long time, and definitely one of my all-time favorite keyboards. Moving down here, as you guys can see, we have the really bad keyboards. We have the half keyboard. It feels super similar to the Booga keyboard. They're both membrane keyboards, but yeah, there's not really much else to say than this, except it's kind of not the best. As you guys can see, it's literally a half keyboard. A lot of these keyboards are for challenge videos. That's why I have so many. This one I got from Amazon. It is Red Dragon. These are one of the most popular budget keyboards you can get on Amazon, and I actually highly recommend this. It was about $40, but if you have a little bit of a higher budget, I have some better keyboards down there. I'll show you guys later. But then this is actually my newest keyboard I had that I just added to my collection. It was from a Best Buy video. It's a Razer Synapse keyboard. I think that's how it's called. As you guys can see, it's a full-size keyboard, so that is why it's so big. But I'm not gonna lie, the membrane switches on this keyboard compared to the Booga keyboard, you can tell a huge difference. The switches, although they're membrane on this keyboard, are definitely a lot better. Then over here, we probably have the most popular Fortnite kid keyboard. Literally every kid and their mother has this keyboard. It's the Apex Pro TKL. Definitely my second favorite keyboard I have in this collection. It's really good. It has omni-point switches, meaning you can change the actuation point and how the switches feel. So definitely a really high-tech keyboard. Definitely super expensive. I think it's around $200, maybe $220, or maybe $180, somewhere around that price mark. But definitely really good keyboard. And then over here, moving down to one of the worst keyboards I have in my collection, we have this kind of flexible folding keyboard. By far one of the hardest keyboard challenge videos I've ever done. This keyboard literally doesn't have membrane switches. I don't even know what you call this, but as you guys can see, this keyboard's just so flimsy. Definitely a piece of junk. I think I literally paid like $25 for this thing too, so definitely not that cheap for how bad it actually is. Down here, we have the wood keyboard. It actually, I think this is all bamboo. The keyboard, I don't know. I'm assuming it's from China because it's bamboo, but definitely not much else to say from this. This is actually a pretty unique keyboard. Also, I don't know what kind of switches they have. I'm assuming they're just membrane like all the other keyboards on this list on the left side here. Moving down on the right side, they're a lot better, the keyboards over there. But yeah, this keyboard from TrioGate. I think I also got this from Amazon. Most of these keyboards are from Amazon, actually. Another really good keyboard that I have is the Clix Cotton Candy keyboard. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually tied for my second favorite between the Clix Cotton Candy keyboard and the Apex Pro TKL. This is Clix's brand new release Cotton Candy keyboard. I'm pretty sure this has brown switches in them, and they actually, I think this is my only keyboard with brown switches. I might have one more, I think I actually do. But yeah, definitely for Clix's keyboard, his second ever release, I absolutely love this keyboard. He absolutely killed it. I actually also like the kind of color. It's definitely pretty bright and stands out compared to the other keyboards. A pretty cool feature to Clix's brand new Cotton Candy keyboard is that you can actually see through it, and this is for the RGB. So when you actually have this plugged in, the RGB is absolutely insane. It literally shines so bright through the keyboard. Definitely my, like, I don't know, most RGB-like keyboard. I don't know what you would call it. Anyways, moving down here, we have another super budget cheap keyboard from RII. I don't even know what you call it. Another membrane keyboard, I think. I'm telling you, a lot of these keyboards are from keyboard challenge videos I have. I've made so many keyboard challenge videos. But yeah, it's also a full-size keyboard. Not much else to say about this, but yeah, I think I paid like $20 for this keyboard too. Over here, we have, I like to call this the typewriter keyboard. As you guys can see, the switches are literally like circles. They are from Logitech, and as you guys know, Logitech stuff are really expensive. So if you guys, probably comes as a surprise, but this keyboard actually costed $110. I mean, it is wireless, so you have to give it to them. It's more for people that kind of just like to do casual work, obviously not for gaming. As you guys can see, I think it's a 70% keyboard since it actually has these switches on the side over here. But I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was gonna be absolutely terrible for Fortnite, but I'm actually not that bad when I use it in Fortnite. It's a lot better than I thought for gaming. Up here, I actually didn't buy this keyboard. This keyboard is my parents' like 20-year-old office keyboard. As you guys can see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you guys can see how dusty it is right over here. Hopefully it'll focus. Maybe you guys see it. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but this keyboard's extremely dusty. I think it's literally literally 20 years old. Of course, it's a membrane keyboard, but dude, this thing is absolutely terrible for gaming. The Booga membrane keyboard is literally better than this. I wonder how expensive this was in, like, back in the 2000s. Probably was like $50 to $100. Now you could get it for like $10. But anyways, moving along here, this is now approaching the actual goated keyboard section. So starting off on the bottom here, we have Clix's first release keyboard. It's the Clix Matrix keyboard. This one doesn't have the see-through, kind of, I don't know what you call it, the keyboard plate or whatever it's called. But this keyboard I absolutely love too. I think this is the only other keyboard I have in brown switches. I actually really do like brown switches. I cannot even lie. And as you guys can see, this is definitely a really, really nice looking keyboard. Then up here we have the RK61. As you guys can see, this keyboard doesn't have keycaps, but I also did another challenge video where I took off all the keycaps on this keyboard, the RK61, and I was just too lazy to put it back. But this keyboard has red linear switches, as you guys can see right here. Red linear switches, I think, are probably one of the most popular switches, especially for like people that play Fortnite. Definitely really, really good. And this is actually the keyboard I was talking about. This keyboard costs about $60, and I was talking about earlier how this one costed $40. So if you have the extra like $20, I would highly recommend going for the RK61. It's a really, really good budget keyboard. And then up over here, we have the ANPRO 2. This used to be super popular. I don't know how popular it is now, but it costed around, I think, $100. And not gonna lie, the RK61 and the ANPRO 2 are definitely super similar keyboards, but I kind of can tell that this one has a kind of better quality to it. And again, this also has red linear switches, which is probably why it feels so similar. But as you guys can see, I kind of like the all white look of this keyboard. Definitely really nice. And then moving up here, we have probably the weirdest and most high-tech unique keyboard I have. Does not look like a keyboard at all. It literally is a laser keyboard, so you sit it up like that, and then it will project a keyboard onto the desk. Literally the worst keyboard I've ever used in a video. I literally stay away from this thing every single like chance I get. I absolutely hate this thing. Keep in mind, this thing was literally like $65, and it's literally so bad. I cannot express how bad this thing is. I absolutely hate it. But yeah, it's definitely a high-tech keyboard. I guess the only pro to it is that it's super small, so you could like literally carry it in your pocket or something, but that's really the only pro. Really bad for even casual typing. Over here, we have one of my newer keyboards I got in for probably like 3 weeks ago or something. It's just literally another membrane kind of in quotes gaming keyboard. It does have RGB. It was like $20. And actually, you gotta give it to them. They kind of nailed the look of it. For $20, it has RGB and everything. Of course, it doesn't have actual good switches. It has membrane switches, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that keyboard is definitely like pretty decent. It's also 60%, as you guys can see. Over here, we have Mr. Savage's Roccat like Pro TKL keyboard or something like that. This keyboard is really cool because as you guys can see, like the switches don't go all the way down. Let me see if I can get it to focus better. The switches don't go all the way down. It kind of like just hovers. Like the keycaps are like literally flat compared to these ones where it goes all the way down, as you guys can see. I actually really like this keyboard, but I'm surprised a guy like Mr. Savage uses this keyboard. I think he's sponsored by them, but definitely a really good keyboard. It's also a TKL size, so like an 80% keyboard, I think it is. So yeah, definitely really good. Of course, I got this for Mr. Savage video, and also if you guys are wondering, this does have red linear switches. So like this keyboard, the ANPRO 2, RK61, and the Mr. Savage keyboard did come with red linear switches. And then over here, my favorite and most expensive, glorious, beautiful, whatever keyboard. It is my custom keyboard. I'll put up on the screen probably around here. I'll leave some space for it. All the custom keyboard specs. A lot of you guys have been asking, but this thing literally costed $700, bro. It's literally like one of those pro ASMR keyboards, and I really liked how it was kind of see-through, so the RGB kind of shows through it, just like how the Clix Cotton Candy keyboard had it. But the switches, I'm definitely going to change them back to the white ones. I really like the white ones, but if you guys are wondering why it was so expensive, I paid a guy like $150 to like do the keyboard. So in actual parts, it was like $550 to $600 for this keyboard. But quick sound test, ready? ASMR. Definitely so much better. And then compared to this keyboard doesn't have bad switches at all. Keep that in mind. That literally is a $200 keyboard, but compared to the $700 keyboard, you can definitely tell a huge difference. And then this is a $40 Switch keyboard. So yeah, you guys can kind of tell how much worse that is, but hey, it's not absolutely terrible, so can't really complain. It was literally only $40. But yeah, this is my main keyboard over here, and I absolutely love this thing. It definitely is by far the best looking keyboard I have. Anyways, let me know down below what are your 3 favorite keyboards out of my entire collection. If you guys did enjoy this video, want to see more videos like this, maybe like my entire mouse collection, that would absolutely be insane. Make sure you guys drop a quick like. Let's see if we can hit 5K likes. Also, while you guys are down there, like every single YouTuber says, make sure you guys drop a quick sub. You can unsub at any time if you don't enjoy the content. Anyways, peace.